Hey, what's good, YouTube? It is the one and only Fourth and Goal, better known as Rigby. And in the last two videos, we talked about the AFC South and the NFC East, talking about their team expectations and things like that, breakout players and team predictions. And I even asked some of my friends about their thoughts and insights about their teams, and they give out some pretty good insights. And in today's video, we're going to be going back to the AFC, talking about the AFC West, obviously the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Los Angeles Chargers. And today we're going to talk about their expectations and things like that. But before we get into that, if you like this content, make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, and things like that. Just a majority of you guys are not subscribed to my channel at all. You guys are liking my videos, watching my videos. If you like seeing me, or if you want to see me get ratio and you want to ratio me in the comment section, hey, feel free. But let's get straight into the video. Now, the first thing we got to talk about are the Kansas City Chiefs, man. The Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Obviously, the expectation is to always go back to back, especially when you have Patrick Mahomes, who's been to back-to-back Super Bowls, losing to the Buccaneers, obviously, back in 2020. But I think this year they will be an AFC juggernaut still. But I think there is a lot of question marks for this team. And the two biggest question marks is the wide receiver core and the cornerback core. Starting off with the wide receiver core, everybody from the first Super Bowl in the wide receiver core, not tight ends, excluding Travis Kelce, is off the team. Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce, Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, all these guys have left. And it's going to be a lot of chemistry problems in the first half of the season with Kadarius Toney, I think Richie James, I think that's what they brought in, and then Rashee Rice. Now, obviously, there could be the possibility that one of these guys blossom and have a breakout season this year, and I could be totally wrong. And I know what you're saying. Hey, Rigby, they can sign DeAndre Hopkins. No, they cannot. The problem is they have no salary cap space. They have no money to spend. As of right now, as this video is out, the Chiefs are dead last in cap room. So they can't fix the wide receiver core with the DeAndre Hopkins. And even talk about their secondary, they can't fix their secondary. Like, they can't add any depth or they can't add any veteran presence. And going to their secondary, Trent McDuffie, their rookie, just coming off some injuries. Justin Reed, he had a pretty underwhelming coverage year, like as a safety, like in the coverage game, because the Chiefs defensively did not look good passing, on passing downs and things like that. As a passing defense, they didn't look good in coverage, and you can blame the secondary for that a lot of times because their pass rush was good, but their coverage was terrible. Yes, pass rush was good, coverage was terrible. Top 3 in sacks, but bottom last, bottom 5, bottom 10 in every passing coverage stat, like passing touchdowns, interceptions, and yards and things like that. Very weak team. But again, their front seven was really, really good. And I think this year, still having Chris Jones in the center as a defensive tackle, nose tackle, whatever, George Karlaftis is going to be the guy who's going to blossom. That guy, he's going to be really good this season. Them letting go of Frank Clark and Carlos Dunlap opens up him to be the primary defensive end, edge rusher, and things like that. I mean, yes, he started all 17 games in his rookie year, but I think instead of him being in and out, certain downs, he's going to be down there every single play. Just an every down defensive end and things like that. I think he's really going to blow up. He showed, again, he looked really good his rookie season, but I think his second year he's going to go crazy. That's my breakout player for the Chiefs, is George Karlaftis. And my friend, he agreed with me, as you can see right here. My friend, he says Isaiah Pancaro, I don't know how to say his last name, sorry. He can be the breakout player. Kadarius Toney, if he stays healthy, which I semi-agree, I think one of these guys that can blow up, just the possibility of can they, or could they, or should they, would they, I don't know. But yes, he does agree that George Karlaftis can be their breakout player, and I agree. But again, the Chiefs, I just, still, when you have the best quarterback in the world and Patrick Mahomes, I don't really see anybody taking them down. Again, even with the problem in receiving core and at the defensive back core, I just don't see nobody knocking down Patrick Mahomes when it comes down to it. That's just me. We're going to the second team that has the opposite problem in the Los Angeles Chargers, where the team is really put together, well-rounded. It depends on the quarterback. And yes, the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert, man. Justin Herbert, I am actually a big fan of Justin Herbert, man. But I see the Chargers winning about 10 to 12 games. Then with their high flying offense, I love the moves what they did this season. They drafted a wide receiver in the first round. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, they've been the 1-2 punch, and it's worked when they're healthy. And the problem is, both of them are like always. One of them is always injured, and it comes at the worst times ever for the team. Like, they're getting older. Mike Williams is about to be 29, and I believe Keenan Allen is already 31. So these guys, like, they're about to get up there in age, and this is not the NBA. In football, once you hit about 27, 28, it's gonna be a big decline in your game if you had previous major injuries. But Josh Palmer, he had a really solid season last year, having about 800 yards. With their first round pick, Quentin Johnson, about 6'3", a really big body from TCU. Again, it makes sense. You have a star quarterback, that needs weapons around him, and you just having Asian pieces that are going to get injured. Yeah, that's not going to work out not for long. I do like that move a lot. I think you will see a lot of playing time this season, hopefully, if he stays healthy. But yeah, I think defensively, them adding Eric Kendricks to the team, adding more linebacker depth, because that's what they needed actually. Because this year, the Chargers, they had one of the worst run defenses this year. Pass defense, it was solid. It was solid. Their DB core is still pretty young, Asante Samuel Jr. and things like that. But their run defense was terrible, and you could blame that on the front seven a lot. And bringing in Eric Kendricks, if he's just still playing at a high level, I think he's going to change that room a lot. Obviously, still having Bosa, Mack. I believe they still have the guy from the Patriots. I forgot his name. Van Noy. I think he's still there. I think they still have a solid team all around. It's just, can Justin Herbert get over that hump? I think they have a well-rounded team, but it's all based on Justin Herbert. Very opposite to the Chiefs. But my breakout player for them and their record, I already said about 10 to 12 games, and their breakout player could be Josh Palmer. Again, they have a lot of receiving injury problem with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Josh Palmer, him, I think he's his third season in the league. Yeah, I think he's going to really blossom this year. He showed a lot of promise last year when he was being targeted primarily, and I think he can get better, age 24, 25 years old. The future just looks bright for him, honestly. Hey man, moving on to the Las Vegas Raiders. I got mixed emotions on this team because I'm not a big fan of Jimmy G, but at the same time, when he's healthy, I think he can be dangerous at times. But I'm just not a big fan of Jimmy G. I wasn't a fan of Derek Carr. I think they're on that tier 3, tier 4 list of quarterbacks. They're not gonna go crazy, but they're not terrible quarterbacks. I just think they really didn't get better this offseason. They had one of the worst defenses last year, and they didn't really add any pieces that could help them. Yes, Tyree Wilson's there, but I don't think that's enough. A rookie edge rusher is just not enough. You didn't add anybody to the secondary. You got Marcus Epps. He had one of the worst QBRs as a safety last year from my Eagles, and I can tell you right now, he's very undersized. He's not going to, show you anything too crazy, Ed Reed or nothing like that. I'm going to tell you right now. I just don't see the Raiders really elevating and being a really good team. I'm just being honest with you. Hunter Renfrow, he played half the season. Devontae Adams, can he continue to play at a extremely high level? I think that's the biggest question mark for the roster is, Devontae Adams. Is him and Jimmy G going to go crazy together? Because obviously him and Derek Carr, they did okay, but again, 6-11 last year. So Las Vegas Raiders, I really don't have a lot to say. I mean, about 4 to 6 games won again. I mean, yeah, you got Tyree Wilson, but again, how good, can he be, right? The Raiders, they just suck. Sorry, Raiders suck. And lastly, the Denver Broncos. I don't know, man. The Denver Broncos, I'm not on the Russell Wilson can have a bounce back year train. I'm not on that train because when we go back to 2021, he already shows signs of regressing. Okay, in 2021, like Russell Wilson, like he wasn't at a MVP style, and he wasn't that good in 2021 actually. Now, mind you, in 2021, Russell Wilson, like the pocket was clean. He didn't really get sacked as much. He had not one, but two really good wide receivers in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. But yet he had his second lowest QBR in 2021. He went 6-8, didn't make the playoffs, I believe, in 2021. He also had like his worst passing completion under pressure. Like he had a bunch of bad throws. According to PFF, Pro Football Focus, right here, like since the stat has been tracked, 2021 was like his worst like throwing year ever, as you can see right here. Or maybe I'm over exaggerating, but yes, Russell Wilson, like he showed signs of regression, and he's 34, right to 35 going into the season. I just don't see any signs of like him having a bounce back year. I don't think Sean Payton is fully going to turn around this roster and make him Drew Brees, or make him really good. I don't see that. And really with the receiving core, like they have very similar to the Chargers, they have injury problems, and once one guy gets, like, we haven't seen this full receiving core play a full 17 games, and I'm not saying a full 17 games because I know it's football, like players are going to get injured, but I don't know, I just don't see this team really blowing up like people say, especially Russell Wilson having a bounce back here like people want him to have one. Defensively, they let go of their best pass rushers. Bradley Chubb, he was on a Pro Bowl like trajectory all season, and then you trade him to the Dolphins, and then you let your best pass rusher and Draymond Jones go to the Seahawks, and it's like, okay, what are they doing for the front seven? The secondary, the back end is still really good. Obviously, you still having Justin Simmons and like a top 5 corner in Patrick Surtain, but like the front seven is just like it's not looking good. Honestly, I see them winning about the same amount of games, 4 to 6 games, maybe 7 if they get lucky. And I just don't like the Broncos. I'm not fully convinced on the Broncos. I'm gonna just keep it like that. I'm not fully convinced on the Broncos. They really did not sign, did not trade, did not do anything to make this roster a lot better. And I don't think a head coach signing is really gonna make this team a lot better. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll swallow that pill. Pause. But I mean, just looking at the facts, I just don't see them really blowing up. And that's gonna do it for this video, man. Talk about the AFC West. I think the Chiefs are gonna run away with this division again, and possibly the AFC again, because in the playoffs, like everybody and their mama show up for the Chiefs, man. Like they have the most like underrated players in the playoffs ever. Like they go crazy. But if you like this content again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, man. We are out, man. Peace.